This is interesting. I just showed the difference between the mayor in Ukraine during a time of crisis, comforting the people, and then the mayor in New York City, who I don't know how that happened, but that's coming off the backs of an invasion in the White House, an illegal occupation there. The the bottoms of the screen says that the U.S. Says something about a title or an article number 42. No idea what that is, but it says they can't expel some form. I gotta read the exact thing, but back into harm's way. Well, why did anybody pick them out of harm's way and ship them into somebody else's area? How did that work? Why is one way acceptable and the other way is not? That's really confusing. But it says tax refund delays. Now this part seems to be dysfunctional, but then it looks like there is a real push for working class. I don't know if they call themselves Democrats or Republicans. That's a party thing. So I'll just say independently, there are locals that are trying to work together in order to confront the United States part that is giving them a hard time in their own greenback money system where their profiles match and they have their rocks for rock, paper, scissors.
As many Americans gather up their documents to prepare for tax season, others are facing delays in getting past refunds. In fact, the IRS is dealing with a backlog of millions of tax returns.
There. Appeals Court upholds Title 42 but says U.S. can't expel migrants to places of harm. Here's my thing. If those migrants are here causing harm, like I showed on an earlier video, how does that work? Because they're actually here now causing us harm. And why can't you just put them back where they came from? They were causing harm before, wherever they came from. Why are they here now causing harm to others that are, innocent victims?
I go on a few days later. They have no record of my return.
This is the United States IRS system.
You get a recording that says, don't call us and don't write us anymore.
I couldn't get in touch with any...
So the IRS is now saying, now that they have these good people's tax returns, their tax ID numbers, their birthdays, and every personal piece of information that's supposed to be just for the kids at the greenback money system with a rock wall for rock, paper, scissors to keep their internal structure fit and trim and safe and protected. Now all of a sudden, somehow it's been compromised. Obviously, the criminals don't let the innocent victims know about it, and now they're almost locked out of the IRS system. They still pay into it, but they have no access to what it's supposed to be affording them as far as safety procedures go in law enforcement and internal justice within the domestic corridor, with all these new domestic terrorists educating themselves and putting themselves in key strategic positions in this failing democracy. And the Republic is still here, however they independently party themselves.
Anybody really, and it was more just like a waiting game, and that's kind of what I kept being told.
Dealing with the IRS is never fun, but for some, the headache has been getting much worse.
But after going around and getting totally disgusted, I decided to get in touch with Judge Gottheimer's office.
In fact, more than 200 North New...
That's what I'm in need of, is an older generation that knew and was taught how. I don't even have that age bracket of was taught correctly how the system should be structured in order to figure out my way of who to contact. But I'm glad that they were able, this is part of the working independent republic with some democracy over it, because the kiddos in this area seem to love that word democracy, and they'll fight for it till their dying day, which is fine. But I just don't want it and demolition and anarchy to get confused.
New Jerseyans have contacted Congressman Josh Gottheimer's office with similar complaints.
Since the start of the pandemic alone, we've helped claw back $1.2 million in tax returns for the people of North Jersey.
Monday morning, Gottheimer showed up at the taxpayers'
Now, here's a working part of the system, and he has the same United States of America House of Representatives, but now he looks more rock, paper, scissors, and he's within this whatever.
Assistance Center in Paramus, demanding the IRS immediately create a plan to efficiently address the backlog, hire and train more taxpayer advocates, and modernize its technology.
There are additional notices that could be.
None of those suggestions will help what's going on. What further scares me is this gentleman here with this beard. I don't know who he works for. I don't know which part of the illegal operation he represents. But he's not rock, paper, and scissors, although he might think that he's functioning in some capacity. But this is a gangbuster sign of he works within some organization. I don't know which one.
Could be suspended while the IRS
It says
addresses their backlog. They
CEO
can be in
of
position
New
to respond to
Jersey
taxpayer
CPAs.
The IRS commissioner
So now
addressing the
he's in
backlog
charge of the CPAs, and part of the way, because it's the certified public accountants. So now that gets confusing for what's indigenous here in rock, paper, scissors during this failing, part of it's a failing democracy, part of it's a succeeding demolition job. The evidence is everywhere. What I don't understand is who to ask for help in order to put back key strategic pieces to help the people, because there's not going to be anything for the children going forward. I don't see them painted into any of the landscape that they're portraying. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Last night was 8 nights. The moon was not in the sky where I am, in the broken part of the solar system and galaxy. Tonight will be 9, but I have to, of course, verify.